All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, the top 5 benefits of Umbraco Cloud, featuring Yelta Daniel Henson with Umbraco and Bruce Thompson with the Scylla Group. My name is Karen Kohler, and I lead Umbraco's marketing efforts here in the U.S. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. Before we get started, I wanted to go over some housekeeping just real quickly. If at any point during today's presentation you have any comments or any questions that you have, please make sure that you feel free to utilize the chat feature. We'll make sure to answer any of those questions or comments at the end of our time together today. Additionally, we will make sure to share back with you a recording of today's webinar. All right, so without further ado, let's get started by introducing today's presenters. First up, we have your friend and mine, my dear colleague, Yelta Daniel Henson. Yelta is an Umbraco Senior Solutions Engineer with expertise in delivering digital solutions for clients. He has extensive knowledge and has successfully led numerous projects and helped customers deliver delightful digital experiences. Next up, we have today's special guest, Umbraco US Gold Partner, Bruce Thompson with the Scylla Group. Bruce is the co-founder and digital design director with the Scylla Group and has over 20 years of experience in the industry. He has worked with both established and startup brands across various sectors, ranging from consumer goods to nuclear technology. Bruce always has an eye on emerging technologies and exploring how they can be leveraged to improve the user experience and drive engagement. Okay, now let's turn things over to today's presenters. Yelta, take it away.
Thank you very much, Karen. And thank you everyone for coming in for today's webinar, where Bruce and I are going to talk about the top 5 features of Umbraco Cloud. Umbraco Cloud is not a new thing. In fact, it's been around since 2015, so it's definitely not a new thing. It's a great way, and in our opinion, probably the best way that you can go about hosting Umbraco projects. It has also overgone some massive infrastructural overhaul over the last few years. So we believe that Umbraco Cloud is really in as good a shape as ever, and that's what we are going to talk to today. We're going to do it in this classic top 5 list way. We're going to start with number 5, going all the way up to number 1, and then we're gonna summarize it in the end. And along the way, I'll present some features, show you a little bit of what it looks like in Umbraco Cloud, and then Bruce is going to talk a little bit more to what that actually means in the real world. So let's just get started with this top 5 list, shall we? We're going to start with the number 5, which is easy management of all of your project, you and your customers access and support to back you up. Now, this is a lot of administrative things, and for us, this really means an easy way for you to administrate all of your customers' project, everything that's going on with them, and well, who has what access, when do they have it, those kind of things, as well as having that option for support to reach out to should something not go as expected. And just to show you a little bit about what that looks like, let me pull up the Umbraco Cloud portal here. So what you see on my screen right now, this is the Umbraco Cloud portal as it looks today, and it's really a long list of all of the different projects that I am currently working on in Umbraco Cloud. You can see I have the ability to actually customize this UI, so to make it look as I want it to, either by showing the environments or not. You can expand the groups, close the groups. You have the ability to actually group projects together that in a way that makes sense to you. So for example, in this case, if I want to move one of my projects into my private group, you can see how that's interfaced right there. I can use the search functionality to actually find the different projects I'm working on. And then again, have the ability to see, well, how does everything look within this overview. Now, I want to dive a little bit more into some of the administrative components and what it means to be an organization in Umbraco Cloud. So one thing is that we have an easy way to invoice all of your projects. And that means that you get a nice and easy overview of what you will be paying for your Umbraco Cloud hosting. You have the ability to add people onto your organization, determine their access level. So again, making sure that the right people have the right kind of access, can determine who can create project on behalf of the organization and things like that. Now you can see this is the Umbraco HQ organization. So we do have a lot of different people here. And then looking at the actual organization projects. So how many projects do we have in our organization? What do they look like? Are they activated? What plans are they on? This is what you can get a full overview of here. So again, if I'm scrolling through this list, you can see all of the different projects that sits underneath the Umbraco HQ organization. And what you can do is you can even see the actual project, and you can go in and edit the different access levels. So again, here I'm pulling up my one of our demo projects. You can see all of the people that's added to it, see what kind of access they have to the different environments. And this you can also get in this nice and easy overview of all of the different projects you have, the environments, who has what access. So basically allowing you to free up some time to spend on other things than logging into back offices and see, well, who actually does have access to the project. You can get that in this easy overview. And you can even download it as an CSV file to put that into your project administration tools. So the next thing we could look at would be the actual support. Now I do want to emphasize that we have support that's based both in our HQ in Odense, Denmark, and then in our US branch office here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we do cover most of the day from a support perspective. And what you can do to reach out to support is as easy as clicking this speech bubble down here in the bottom right corner. You will open that up. You can send a message to the support team, and they will get back to you as soon as they can. What's great about doing that from here is that actually, because I'm logged into the Umbraco Cloud portal, I'm in this specific overview, support can actually pretty quickly figure out, well, what project are you working on and what might be the issue, because they have all of that interface for them. If I specify stuff like I have an issue with a specific project, send that over, then the team will get back to you. So that's the support and how that works in Umbraco Cloud. Now, all of these administrative things, I mean, it's not all of the exciting things yet, but I still think this is a pretty cool feature. But I will be interested to hear, Bruce, what this means for an agency like the Scylla Group when working on Umbraco Cloud.
Well, for us, it's great because it takes a lot of the need for site hosting and management, disparate systems, and it combines it all in one nice package. It's a great user workflow. I find it very easy to navigate, to find the settings I need, and have a lot of controls right at our fingertips. A lot of this would take a full-time position, especially when you're looking at multiple positions, depending on the complexity and the number of sites that you have to manage and maintain. So there's a level of familiarity that gives us, increased productivity, peace of mind, consistency, right? So the more consistent we are in environments and platforms and process, the more consistent our delivery is, the better quality of the products we're able to deliver. And it's just a very good experience overall for us with a lot of powerful options. So it has a wide range from simple setups to large complex integrations, and it's all at your fingertips on the site, which is, I think, one of the best experiences is just having it all in one place. So yes, administration is not the greatest thing, but it is really a good experience and a powerful tool with a lot of options, which we'll get into more of. Speaking of, let's go to the
number four, I guess.
Four.
Yeah, let's go. So the number 4 feature that we will be looking at today is the host name resolution in Umbraco Cloud, which is all done through Cloudflare. And I mean, I take that most of the people working with or around web technologies are familiar with what Cloudflare does. But in the world of Umbraco Cloud, it really means 3 different things. On a high level, it means that we can add CDN capabilities, so we can make use of Cloudflare's extensive content delivery network to build some great and performant websites on Umbraco Cloud. It means that we can do a lot of caching of static assets as well as minification directly from the Umbraco Cloud instance. And then there is the whole security aspect to it. Stuff like TLS certificates is automatically assigned to your host names once you add them to Umbraco Cloud. We can take care of stuff like DDoS protection and web application firewall. All of that is there by default, so it's one less thing to worry about when setting up the Umbraco Cloud infrastructure. And just to again take a look at what does this look like in the actual interface, I want to pull up my project here and show you, well, what does it look like when you want to add a new host name to your project. And you do that through the interface right here. I'm gonna put in my one of my demo domains from my own personal host name. And once I've done that, what happens in the background is that everything is matched up in Cloudflare. We obtain the TLS certificate, meaning that you can get a secure and protected connection to the website. Of course, before that, you would have to set up the DNS records with your DNS provider, which is what I done prior to this. And then, simple as that, you get the little padlock that we're looking for, showing that our site is secure. You can see in the portal that it's protected. We can even see in here that the host name has a TLS certificate attached to it. And then looking at the security aspects and some of the different security settings you can actually work with in Umbraco Cloud. So we allow you to enable or disable HTTP 2. You can determine which TLS version you want to use. If you want to allow TLS 1.3, and you can even specify the minimum TLS version. So for some of the larger enterprise organizations working in Umbraco Cloud, this is a great thing for hostname security. And again, you can do that on a per hostname level. It doesn't have to be a general setting. You can set that up specified for each and every one of the host names that you have in your project, or even for the different environments. We'll get to how environments work in Umbraco Cloud in a bit, but just wanted to mention that as well. Now, the next thing is the CDN caching and the optimization that we allow for in Umbraco Cloud. Now, since all traffic is going through Cloudflare anyway, it makes sense to have the ability to flip the cache on or off. You can set the time to live for the cache. You can do minification and of all of your files, as you said, JavaScript and HTML, and you can even enable cache everything. What this does is that it allows you to deliver everything from the Cloudflare edge cache. So no traffic goes to your Umbraco Cloud instance. And again, you can do that on a per host name level. We also allow you to purge the cache. So if you've made a change and you need that to go live straight, you can purge the cache from in here. And again, do that either for all of your host names or just for one of them. So this is, I mean, again, it's allowing for some peace of mind when working with Umbraco Cloud. It's stuff that you don't have to set up when working on Umbraco Cloud. But again, I'd be interested to hear what this means for someone like you, Bruce.
Well, one of the great things we like about it is you are always optimizing and tweaking. And with multiple clients and multiple different setups, having all of those controls there is very beneficial for us because it allows us to easily set up and customize, especially security for enterprise is a huge thing. So having those abilities within the Umbraco Cloud makes it very easy and contained, as well as there's a lot that we don't have to worry about using this platform. The security settings, the certificates are a constant, thing that you think about and sometimes worry about, and it comes up, oh gosh, this SSL certificate ran out. Well, you don't have that problem here. It's maintained, updated automatically for you, which is a great peace of mind. Lots of controls, lots of optimizations. So you really have a wide range of powerful tools to really dial in your specific application, your specific platform based on your customer specific needs. So once again, you're going to hear the term customization comes up a lot. And there's a lot of customization, a lot of control built in this system. it's all in one place, which makes it very easy to maintain, which makes it easy to have peace of mind when you know you're supported with automatic backing from Umbraco support team, as well as, hey, automatic patches and updates. Something's wrong, we hit a deployment, mistakes happen, things are unforeseen. So being able to go in and purge the cache really helps us, to not have to go to another resource. We can do it directly, immediately, and have a lot of control and power at our fingertips that you would otherwise need to, potentially have to schedule and go through, hoops to escalate priority. Well, now it's in our control, which is great. And it does reduce complexity a lot. When you're looking at hosting and security and caching and all, there's lots of variables in play at all the time, and being able to kind of fine tune and to be able to polish that for the best performance is really a powerful tool for anyone hosting and managing multiple platforms. Getting that peace of mind allows us to focus primarily on enhancements, optimization, getting the best experience, doing a lot of upgrades and enhancements for our customers, focusing on things that matter more to our clients and to the impact of business, because we can set it and forget it to some degree.
Cool. Well, I guess that drives us to the number 3, which I actually believe is a great feature. You will see that some of the features that we're talking about today are newer features, newer additions to Umbraco Cloud, which is constantly evolving. But baselines has been around since the beginning of Umbraco Cloud. And the number 3 feature is the boilerplate site creation and easily manageable multi-site solutions with baselines on Umbraco Cloud. Now, baselines basically give you the ability to create a new project based on another one. We've seen 2 main utilizations of this feature in Umbraco Cloud. On one hand, especially for agencies and people building websites to clients, typically have some kind of document types, have some standard controllers, maybe some custom built property editors that goes in every project anyway. Maybe they even have a basic project structure. And for those type of organizations, it's great to be able to simply create a new project based on an old one. So you're basically good to go right from the start and don't have to spend a lot of time setting that up. For larger organizations with numerous different websites, 2 of the larger ones that we have using this in Umbraco Cloud is the Danish Soccer Association and Carlsberg. It basically allows them to have one instance of Umbraco to administer, and then they push upgrades out to all of the different child sites that they have, so they can have content editors working on one side, and then they can have new features to work on as well. Now I want to show a bit about what it looks like to actually create a project based of a baseline in Umbraco Cloud. So that's what we're looking at right here. We're looking at the create project flow and how you actually get started in Umbraco Cloud. So you can see as I'm here, I get to pick between Umbraco Cloud, Umbraco Baseline, and Umbraco Hardcore. Now for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to choose the baseline. I'm going to select that and use that as my baseline for this demo. I get to choose what project I want to use. So again, as I have a lot of projects, I get to pick exactly the one I want. I pick the Yolta demo baseline, and then I get to select the plan it goes on. For the purpose of this, we're going to go with the standard plan, and then I get to specify, well, what should actually be the name of the project. So I'm going to call this Umbraco Cloud Webinar Yolta Baseline. Set the ownership, again going back to the organization features I was talking about before. And then once we're done, I get to hit the continue button. I'll see a short summary of what I'm about to create. Check off that I've read and agree. Press create project. It's going to spin for a little bit to make sure everything is brought together, and then we will see that we will be given a button where we can actually move on to the project right here. So that's what you see here. We will have the ability to go to the project. Now it'll take a little while to get everything together and to install Umbraco and stuff like that. That's great. a great chance to take a cup of coffee and sit back while we take care of that. But I want to use the opportunity to just show you, well, what does it actually look like on the baseline project then? I'm gonna go into the actual baseline, or the parent, if you may, of the project, which is this one called Yalta Demo Baseline. And we can see it's clearly specified here that this is a baseline for other projects. I get to click Manage Updates here, and then I get this interface, which shows me all of the different child projects that I have sitting underneath my baseline. And once you have an update that's been pushed through the environment on your baseline project, you can click the green button here to apply that upgrade to all of your child projects, or you can cherry pick and specify the exact projects for which you want to push this upgrade out to. And talking about using it as a boilerplate site creation tool, you also have the ability to disconnect the child project from the baseline. So again, letting it be a standalone project. Once it's set up and configured and ready to go, you can start building all of your custom stuff on the child project. So that's really how it looks like. It's straightforward and to the point, I will say. But I'm sure, Bruce, you can share a lot more about how this looks like for the type of work that you do to your clients.
Sure. I just wanted to point out that, you just created a site in minutes that could take days to set up from a manual process, right? So it's one of the great features of the baseline that you can really streamline your production pipeline and your process, right? So one of the ideas here with the baseline, first, you could do one instance and it's literally just a copy of that site, right? It also does complex setups, right? So if you didn't notice in Yalta's demonstration there, he's created a new baseline and they had multiple environments, right? It just wasn't one simple environment and this is, just a starter kit. You can make this as a complex and custom as you want. I like to look at this a little creatively, right? From an agency standpoint, what can you do with this? Well, you can create templates, right? You create templates on sites and environment setups that are streamlined jump points, saves you tons of time. It's repeatable, it's consistent, but it's also in a DevOps pipeline that makes it easy to upgrade and to disseminate, right? So you've got some complexity here. Once you have one of these cloned, by the way, this is a content layer in the top of these cubes, and the bottom would represent a code-based schema layer. From this clone, you can make multiple clones, right? The second tier is clones. The baseline code is consistent. So if there are updates to the baseline, disseminating those makes all of the sites updated and consistent code base, which is great for branding, great for QA and testing, performance, quality controls, all of that. Even though we have clones, we still have the ability to manage unique content, to add customization such as third-party APIs. Maybe this one has a really high need for blogging, right? So we can create a blog component or plug in whatever in the back office for Umbraco that's really unique and tailored towards that particular client, the region or instance of that site. So for us, this is great for clients that have multiple regions, especially multilingual, multinational, multi-regional sites. So we can have shared resources from an enterprise level that's disseminated through the code base and through the baseline template, which, hey, if you're running 30 different departments or versions of a marketing department globally, hey, now you have not 30 budgets, limited budgeting that shares maximum benefit to all these other regions, but it's not stifled to the point where you can't still get complete customization, unique content. But from a management standpoint, it's safe, secure, consistent, tested. So these environments are, you're pushing quality, but you've got a lot of opportunity here for how you use it. From an agency standpoint, we love a baseline with our base product, right? So we have our code base, our setups, our options for multiple ranges of clients. So different bloggings, different product catalogs, contact information, form integration, CRM integration, all these different pieces of a site for different ranges we include in this package. We duplicate it, and then we can modify it quickly. So we get a site up. We're working from a consistent code base, consistent customer user experience. It's all been quality tested and assured and verified. We add a new feature that we think is cool. Everybody's going to love it. We put it back into the baseline, disseminate it, and now everybody on that platform has that new feature, that new capability. So enhancements, upgrades are a constant reality in our world, but this makes it very easy and very safe to disseminate across multiple ranges. It's a very, very powerful feature of Umbraco Cloud and a huge productivity saver for us. You can tell I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, I think, well, I just wanted to mention that it's a little hard with making this top 5 list, because I think a lot of the features can bring a lot of value in different areas, and I really see baselines as one of those things, especially.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's
yeah. Like I said, create templates per client, saves time and resource, set up new projects, reduce complexity in publishing, and consistent code base across multiple sites. It's very powerful.
And that means that we're onwards to the number 2. So we are getting there to the end of our list. But this is truly, I think, also another cool feature about Umbraco Cloud. We've been touching a little bit on the ability to have multiple different environments in Umbraco Cloud, and to have a pipeline that you can actually push all of your changes through. So the number 2 is really about the connected environments that allows for easy synchronization of content, schema, and code. So it's really anything that goes into your Umbraco Cloud project that you can have pushed through this pipeline. You can even set up local environments for your dev team to easily be able to work with the exact same content that there exists on the live environment, without having the risk of connecting directly to the live environment database. So again, another very powerful feature. I'm going to show it to you in 2 portions. In this first portion, I'm going to show you a little bit of what it looks like when we're talking how are we deploying schema and code between environments in Umbraco Cloud. So you can see, again, on this project, I have 2 different environments. I have a development and a live environment. If I wanted to, I could add a staging environment in between my development and my live environment to have this 3 environments set up. However, for the use of this demo, all I have is a development environment. I'm going to open up my back office here, go into my settings to make a small change to a document type that I have on this demo site. And let's make a change to the news area that I have right here. I'm going to add a new property to my SEO tab. And let's just call this one news area. Yeah, news ad. There we go. We're going to select an editor for that, and we're just going to go with something as simple as a text string. Put that in there. So now we've made the update to our document type on our development environment. Now, what does that look like in the portal? If I update this, you can see that the portal has already picked up on this change. So the change is already present, and the portal is aware that there has been a change to the document type. And if we wanted to, we could push this change from development to live. Now, let's actually also make use of this new news ad property in our template. So I'm going to go in here, write a little bit of HTML, put it in Razor syntax here, just do a quick paragraph and then say model.newsAdd. There we go. I'm gonna save that. And now same thing happens. If I refresh, we will now see that 2 changes are ready for deployment. So again, the portal is automatically picking up on these changes. And let's say that's really it. We've built a new property and a new feature, and we want to deploy this onwards to the live environment. So we specify exactly what we are deploying here. And once we've done that, we press deploy to live. And now behind the scenes, Umbraco Cloud is taking care of the deployment, running all of the different steps in deployment, restoring NuGet packages and all of that to get actually our new property across to the next environment. So this actually also talks to that we're working with what you can call a 2-sided deployment approach on Umbraco Cloud, where schema and files, or code in this case, is deployed differently than content and media. And let's take a look at the content and media portion of it. So how we actually make use of this new property that we just added, or how we, what can you say, get any type of content across to the next environment. So I've pulled up the back office here again on my demo project, and I've built this page called text page from dev. You can see here in my project, I have a development, I have a live environment. If I pull up my text page from dev, you can see I have a bunch of lorem ipsum text here that I am ready to have go to my live environment. Now there's a few different ways you can do this. One way is that you can queue it for transfer. You can even pick a date when you want the page to be published on your live environment, or you can have the current publish date flow over, which is what I'm doing here. So now you can see that I have this content item in my queue, and you can even add as many content items as you want to. But I'm just going to go ahead and stick with this one for now, and then go into my live environment here, log into the back office, and then you will see that now we have text page from dev. We now have that on the live environment. Now, say content editors do what content editors are hired for. They make changes to the content and they make them straight on the live environment. Could be changes to some of the properties, could be changes to the title even, and then save that and have that be how the page now looks like on the live environment. What then happens to the version on the development environment, you might ask. Now, what's great about this content flow on Umbraco Cloud is that it floats both ways. So not alone do you have the ability to transfer content, you also have the ability to restore content. You can do 3 types of restore. Workspace restore, which takes down everything from the live environment down to the development environment. Tree restore, which restores just the tree, so in this case, the content tree. Or the partial restore, where you then get to select the exact content that you want to restore. So you will see over here, I have an exact mirror of how it looks like on the live, and I can restore that down. And you will notice that the change went into the content page that I had on my live environment already. It picked up on the redirect URL management and all of that. Even the content history is still there. So all of that is preserved on an environment level, and you could do stuff like rolling back if you needed to do that even. And what's also great is that you have the ability to compare changes. So in the case where you, for example, don't want to override something on the live environment, you can do stuff like comparing the different content between environments. Now, since I just restored this is the same. So that's really just to talk about how the different environments are connected, what you can do with it, both from, say, a code deployment perspective, but also from a content restore and working with content in multiple different environments from that perspective. So Bruce, over to you again. I'm very intrigued to hear how this is making a difference to you and to your customers.
Well, we love the fact you can have multiple environments set up, right? This is a great option of versatility in what we can create and ease of setup. Single environment, great for simple sites, right? You have code content, you've got a local repository, you're pushing your code pretty much either directly from your local to production, or you may be editing content locally and pushing code and content up to your live site. In both cases, you can still edit content in the live site. It's a simple setup, right? Not a lot of updates on a consistent basis, but gets the job done for a lot of scenarios. When you add a second environment, and this is actually said staging, but it should be development. This gets to where Yalta was demonstrating this separation of content and code. It really opens up a lot of opportunities, and the features that he has just demonstrated is made available from these two different options, right? These pipelines flow both ways. So content, as he's demonstrated, can be created in stage, published live to the production server. You've got, because of this pipeline, you have controls for restores, for rollbacks, for version controls, and so forth. Code base being on staging separate for production allows us for an environment to QA. This allows us to review outside of your live site, public facing site presentation, or the in-use version. So in a development cycle, we're constantly pushing updates, reviewing that code, testing them, and it needs to be on a server that's accessible outside of our network to be able to run certain operations and certain integrations and controls. So you don't necessarily want to learn something's not right on your live site. So having a separate environment that really protects your forward public facing presentation and credibility to ensure the best quality performance to everybody touching your brand, while enabling your dev team and your content managers both to have a safe environment to work, to test, to verify before publishing live. Conversely, we have 3 environment options, which I call the hot rod here, is multiple levels of controls. But in this scenario, your code repository locally, your Git pushes and so forth are going to go to your development. That protects your team from potentially pushing code that you don't want to have pushed yet. Some of your initiatives take a lot longer to develop, to test, review than content, right? So you don't want your pipeline to be bogged down. You don't want to bog your content down because of your code base and your schema base updates. So having them separated is great. Having a staging environment allows us a lot of versatility in that workflow. This is where content creators experiment, publish sites, update content, route it for review, get approvals here before pushing live to production. It's also a great place for integrations and for testing with real content. Now that we've verified in development locally and internally, we know the code is good, so we push it to staging. Make sure it's not going to break something. We like to think we're great, but the reality is, mistakes happen or things aren't necessarily thought of until you push it live. It also lets you know if you're in sync, right, with your code base. So it's a great testing ground before you go to production. This is great for an enterprise or a really complex situation where you're constantly pushing updates, you're constantly doing optimization and enhancements. So it's a really aggressive, supportive pipeline and setup, but at the same time, it's a really secure setup because you're separating content from production, you're separating content from development. Your development is allowed to move your code and schema in stages without interfering with. So you're getting the best of both worlds here, but it really helps streamline a lot of complex integrations things that once they're grouped together can break easily. So having those separate and having them multiply separated in stages here is just a very smart way to ensure quality and integrity, once again, of your public facing site, while enabling your development team and your content creators to work offline but still be online. If that makes sense.
Does.
So we're getting close to the number one here, Yalta.
We are indeed. And I mean, I was trying to say, are you excited? But I mean, we have obviously coordinated this a little bit, but I wanted to just have someone do a little bit of a drum solo for the number one on the top 5 list of Umbraco Cloud features. And the number one is the flexible and scalable managed hosting environment that's set up in minutes. And I want to say a few things about that, because we know that it's not necessarily easy to host an Umbraco environment, nor is it easy to set up an Umbraco hosting environment. There's a lot of different components that you have to put in there to make it a successful deployment of Umbraco. Stuff like setting up the application service, setting up stuff like the database, the blob storage, if you're in an Azure environment, or the equivalent with other hosting providers, setting up stuff like a secrets management tool. I mean, there's just a lot of components that you can put into running an Umbraco infrastructure, and that's something that takes time. Actually, when we're talking to our agency partners altogether, what they tell us is that 8 to 12% of the initial time spent on Umbraco project goes to these things, which is not necessarily strictly related to the Umbraco project, but it's still times that goes out of the budget and time that's spent on other things than just developing with Umbraco. Now, one of the things, well, probably the main thing that we want to achieve with Umbraco Cloud is to be able to take these things off your table. So rather than have you spend a lot of time building all of this and setting all of this up, we can actually take care of that for you. We can set up the entire infrastructure. We know what the best way is to host an Umbraco solution and host an Umbraco application. So I want to show you, just for the ease of this demo, show you, well, how easy it actually is to get up and running, and how quickly we can get up and running with a new project on Umbraco Cloud. So again, we're looking at the project creation flow here. Now, rather than choosing the baseline as we did before, we're going to select a regular Umbraco Cloud project. We're going to go with the professional plan for this. Again, talking about the versatility, there's something for a lot of different types of clients. We get to choose what version of the CMS we want to use. Do we want to use the newest, Umbraco 11, which is standard support, or do we want to use Umbraco 10, which is long-term supported, or even Umbraco 8, which is also a long-term supported version on .NET Framework? So I'm going to choose the version 10 LTS. I specify the name of the project again. And now this is pretty interesting, because here we get to select what region we want to host our Umbraco Cloud site in. We have 3 regions at the moment: West Europe, East US, and South UK. Now, of course, for the sake of this demo, I'm choosing East US, specifying all of the different information. And again, I get this little summary where I can check off that I've read the terms and conditions, even though I probably have not. And then I can see that now my project is being created. I can go to the project. We should give this just a short while, and then we will see that the project is actually now up and running. And this is a fully functioning Umbraco website. Obviously, our document types and our content and whatnot is not in here yet, but it is a running Umbraco environment. It's already installed and all of those things. If I wanted to, I could add a development environment here as well and have that be up and running within the next few minutes as well. And now to talk a little bit about the different infrastructure components and how those are interfaced to you, I want to show you that one thing that we give you full access to is the database. So you have the full connection string for every environment. There is a database backing every environment. There's blob storage set up again for every environment, and you have the full connection string. So if you want to go in and peek into the database or fix something in the database, you can do that on Umbraco Cloud. What we have also set up is secret management. So for every project, we set up an Azure Key Vault to make sure if you have secret, could be an API key that you don't want to store in your code. It could be a connection string to an external database, stuff like that. You can put that in the secret management, and it could be achieved from the application, but it's all stored within the portal here. So, and it comes in a key value pair. So it could be my super secret API key, my super secret API key value. I put that in here, save the secrets, and now that's accessible directly from the application, the Umbraco application that I'm hosting on the environment. That's some of the infrastructure components. I mean, I know that some of you who are on this webinar are probably also working with customers that have a little bit of different requirements for their projects. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit to the dedicated resources that we offer on Umbraco Cloud as well. So we offer 3 different dedicated resources for the Pro plan. For the standard, we offer 2, and for starter, we offer 1. Our standard hosting offering is shared hosting, but if you or your client need it, you can have the dedicated hosting to have everything be available to just you or your client. And you can do that for a short amount of time. You can do that for the entire lifespan of the project. That's really up to you. So that's just taking you through the project creation flow and how quickly and easily you can actually get started with an Umbraco environment. Now, over to you, Bruce, and yeah, tell us a little bit about what all of this means to you.
Well, I just while you're showing that, the term "work smarter, not harder" kept showing up in my mind. It really is a smart workflow. Whenever I find myself doing redundant, repeated things, I always stop and go, there's got to be a better way. That's why computers were made in the first place, right? Manual redundant tasks are just eliminated and streamlined them, and that's what this workflow in the Umbraco Cloud does for us. You mentioned scalability and flexibility of the system, right? This is core for I think growth in general, as well as to have a consistent platform for multiple uses to clients and scenarios. It's great to have a platform that covers this range. Talking about scale, we can scale in environments. We can scale in complexity of the integrations and customizations of the platforms and solutions within that environment. When you talk about scaling, size of baselines, projects, and sites, and the flexibility that comes with this architecture, right? To be able to create instances and synchronize content or code base flows, to have customization, it really is a wide, overreaching service and tool that is core to executing a strategy of a modern platform, right? A true digital experience platform has to be responsive. It has to be agile. It has to be scalable, right? And it has to be consistent professional delivery. So this platform provides tons of opportunities, tons of ability to expand, to grow, to continue to optimize, and to tweak performance, to get better at every stage of the plan here. So for us, it's a great tool for setting up sites quickly, getting ahead of myself. It solves a wide range of technology. It's able to respond, pivot quickly. Just a wide, flexible, solid, professional platform that it really enables not only agencies but businesses alike to have a lot of quality control, reduce a lot of overhead costs. Being able to streamline means you can do more with less in a faster amount of time. And the more you're in this environment, the more you're going to find efficiencies in management and time and opportunities for not only your department and your team to streamline, but also to bring more value to your clients, because this system is set to grow. And I think that is a big part of, why we choose to use Umbraco Cloud, is because of that scalability and growth factor there. Because if we're doing our job well, then we're making an impact. We're bringing value to the client, to the customers, to their customers. Therefore, we want to continue to invest in bringing continuous value in this pipeline. This system allows us to quickly and easily execute upon new ideas and strategies and continue to provide new values to our clients. It's a supported, versatile platform you can compete and grow with.
Sounds great. So just to summarize before we hand it back to Karen, just to give you the brief version of the top 5. The number 5 we talked about was taking care of the administrative tasks, making sure that you can see who has what access, and then the support to back it all up. The number 4 was the host name resolution through Cloudflare that added CDN caching and security to the mix. So this great stuff, making sure that your site is secure and performant. The boilerplate site creation with baselines that can also be used for multi-site solutions. We looked at the connected environments and what difference that made. And here, as the last thing, the number 1 thing, we looked at the flexibility and the scalability of the hosting platform and how it can essentially provide a wide range of different types of customers with the right infrastructure. So back to you, Karen, and for some questions, if we have any in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Honestly, I think the two of you did such an amazing job. We don't have any questions. So that tells me you told the audience everything they wanted to hear. So great job to both of you.
I have one thing I can ask then, if that's all right.
Yes, please.
Cool. Because I mean, obviously these top 5 list of things is not necessarily something that I have come up with. I mean, of course, this has come through continuous discussions with agencies and businesses using Umbraco Cloud, and something that we at Umbraco HQ is continuing to improve on is to listen to the people who are actually using our software. We've brought on product owners in all of our development spaces. So if any of you on the call have any feature that you would like to see in Umbraco Cloud, or have any feedback to share, you're more than welcome to share it either with me or directly with our cloud product owner. We can share his contact information as well. But maybe this could be a question for Bruce. I mean, we talked about all of the good things that there is in Umbraco Cloud. If you were to wish for one thing in the future of Umbraco Cloud, what would that feature be? You're looking at how things are now. I mean, I should say we've not prepared this, so if you don't,
no, it's a great question. It's a great question. We actually discussed it this morning. Production instant swapping would be a great feature, because there are cases where sometimes you just want to have a backup production, switch it. I mean, this is a big fail-safe, kind of moment, protection versus a rollback, but it also has a lot of versatility in a production pipeline, and that's something that we've instituted on another couple sites and platform setups, and we find it extremely beneficial.
Cool. So the ability to be a little bit more flexible with the different environments and essentially pick which one is the production at what time.
Yeah, I mean, it would add essentially a potential 4th environment or ability to take stage and production and have them swappable.
Okay.
A lot of times we'll push code to stage and production to have a consistent code base, because otherwise content created on a new code feature on staging can't be pushed to production unless the code is pushed along with it. So the two actually sometimes marry in that scenario. So that is one feature, one problem that you can help us solve, right?
That's great. Well, I think one thing to say about that is actually, I mean, we've done kind of a similar presentation before, and back then one of our of the people from our dev team was on, and I actually know that's a feature that they're working on as we speak. So the ability to have more flexible environments, because right now we have this kind of linear flow. So you have you can have the 3 environments, but we actually want to allow you to kind of also space out from that, so you can have another environment that's on top of the staging, or you can be a little bit more flexible with how you have those environments. So I actually know that's something that they're working on right now, and
yeah, it's also, you know, beneficial for testing integrations, right? Otherwise, you're swapping domain hosting names and so forth. If you're doing a third-party integration that requires routing, you know, or live data, that becomes a little bit more troublesome and a little bit more manual process. It's still possible, but it's a lot quicker and efficient. If we had a you know, multiple production instances, we could test and swap. There's a lot of flexibility and workflow in that environment setup.
Well, that's great to know. And I mean, same to you. If you have anything, then I'm sure our product owner Sean will be more than happy to be in touch.
All right. Well, thank you both, Yelta and Bruce. We appreciate you sharing your excitement and your thoughts today about Umbraco Cloud. And, you know, definitely a special thank you to our audience for having joined us today. And as a reminder, we will be happy to share back with you the recording from today's webinar so that you can refer to it for future needs, or perhaps share it with someone on your team. Should you, in the meantime, have any additional questions, make sure to check us out on www.umbraco.com or head on over to our LinkedIn page. You'll learn more about everything that's happening with Umbraco. So thank you again, and hope everybody has a great day.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Bye, everybody.